Jason Tatum scored 33 points, and the Celtics beat the shorthanded Cavaliers 109-102 in Game 4 to take a commanding 3-1 lead in their semifinal series. The Lakers, LeBron James, his beautiful wife, Savannah, watched courtside. We'll get to that a little bit later. Tatum and the Celtics found their stride in the last two games in Cleveland. Tatum scored 33 points in each of the last two games after averaging 25.5 in the first two games of the series. Okay, there's been a lot of Jason Tatum talk this series thus far. So do you no longer have any concerns about him, what we've seen these last two games?
No, they haven't evaporated. Mm-hmm. Look, he's definitely looked more aggressive and dominant offensively, getting to his spots. I still can't figure out why he's not converting some of these shots that you know is in his wheelhouse at a higher rate. Because he's had two 33-point games, and he's rebounding great. He has the entire series. He's still been 11 for 25 in the last two games. Yeah. Right? Now, if you're playing against the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum goes 11 for 25, you will sign up for that every night of the week, regardless of the number he gets to, because there's so much talent offensively on this team. If he's taking 25 shots and shooting 44%, that's a win for you defensively. Having said that, look, you're definitely seeing he's getting closer to like really breaking out, I believe. Hasn't really seen it to this point. They haven't been tested on a level where they're playing a team we expect that can really put them in serious jeopardy. Maybe that is what will bring the best out of Jason Tatum. So I don't think the concern is gone. Okay. I do think it's trending in the right direction for him and for their team.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, you look at it like, we had 33, he had 33. Yeah, it took him 25 shots to get him. And he was 11 of 25, at least be 13 of 25. I was like, okay, he over 50%. But like you said, he has been inefficient the majority of these playoffs. He was downright awful in the first series. The team was just so much better than the Miami Heat that it really went unnoticed. Jaylen Brown and Derek White were the reasons why probably they got out of it with relative ease of that first series. But Jaylen Brown has been their best player in the series because he's been efficient out the yin-yang. He's 9 of 15, 2 of 3 from the 3, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. He had 27 points, and an easy 27 points because they don't really have an answer for him. Am I surprised, given that Donovan Mitchell did not play and the game was still this close? Yes. Yes, I did not. I said, oh, they're going to win this thing by 30. And maybe Boston thought the same thing that we were thinking. They ain't got Donovan. Oh, man, we finna cakewalk. And the next thing you know, Darius Garland, without Donovan Mitchell, like, I ain't got to share the backcourt with you and these shots with you. Let me go on and take off. And he took off. Everybody played well. In order for them to, I don't think Donovan Mitchell's going to come back with that sprain calf. Yeah. The likelihood of him coming back game 5, it's over after 5. They're going back to Boston. This thing is over. Let's not kid ourselves. But I like what I'm seeing from Darius Garland. I wish he had been this aggressive with Donovan Mitchell, and then maybe we could have had a series out of this. But unless they were going to do what they did in game 2, go out and make 22, 23 threes, we didn't think this was going to be a very long series.
So I might be alone in this, but I wasn't ever really too worried about Jason Tatum. I think, to your point, they've had the opportunity to cruise. I mean, yesterday we got stumped with the trivia, but he is in terms of he's like the points leader in playoff experience that's left. And so he's been to plenty of finals. Mm-hmm. I think we have seen this ebb and flow a little bit over the course of his career. But to me, when they get to a place where they're being tested by a team, I don't hate his shot selection. He was still 9 of 9 from the free throw line. He can put pressure on defenses in that way. I think the shots will come as they continue to level up, because I think we all agree there is an entire level for the group of the Celtics to get to if they're really going to win a finals this year.
Right. Look, maybe it's going to take the next round, because whether it's the Knicks shorthanded, they survive this series, or it's the Pacers who are healthy and play a certain style that's going to lend itself to how Boston wants to play. Open floor, a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit less contact. Maybe that will ultimately be where Jason Tatum really breaks out and has efficient nights while getting to a certain number rather than what he's done the last two. But again, Celtics will take it based on the way he has played to this point in the postseason. Yeah. Just as long as he's putting up that number, I think they're happy with it for now. Now let's just see if we can tighten up that efficiency. Maybe the shot attempts come down a little bit.
All right, let me ask you this. Do you feel like it's a problem if Boston isn't tested until the finals?
I am concerned about that, Molly. I am concerned about that. Yeah. Because I just personally, philosophically, the on-off switch is disrespectful. Like, especially if this is the team that's going to run into the Denver Nuggets, potentially, if we think they're coming out of the West. Right. Obviously, Kristaps Porzingis is a huge wild card in terms of his availability. But then again, you do have, it's first to 4, right? And so if it was just one game, I think I'd be a little bit more concerned about trying to flip it on.
Yeah.
But I think as they look to close out the Cleveland Cavaliers, we want to see the level of Boston that is intense, that is in outright kill mode, no questions asked. Make it definitive.
A 20-point defeat, and the game should be over by the first quarter. You already know, okay, JB and JT going to be on the bench by the start of the fourth quarter. That's the type of mentality, and that's the type of basketball we want to see the Boston Celtics play. But like you said, and see, for me, I don't look at Boston as potentially struggling against the Knicks. I think the Pacers, the style that they play, the up and down, although they can challenge them, that plays into Boston's hands because you're not going to play any defense. So Jason Tatum and JB going to get whatever they want, how much of it they want. So I think it'll be a very entertaining series, but I really don't see anybody that can beat Boston coming out of the East.
No, I agree with you. And I think the one thing about if you get into that kind of game with the Indiana Pacers, that's when the Celtics will hit you with 15, 16, 18 made threes.
Right.
Like that's when they get into their wheelhouse, where they just end teams.
Right.
Here's what I will say about Boston. It is concerning that they're not going to be challenged to a greater extent like what these teams in the West are going through. I will say this, though. The two biggest statements they made were in both series. They lose game 2 at home. And you go on the road then for that first road game. And all kinds of noises building, especially the Miami series, because everybody was saying, well, it's Eric Spoelstra, it's the heat, it's the culture. And you know what they did? They didn't just go down there and win the game. They dominated them to just end all noise.
Yeah.
Anxiety level's not going to build. We're ending this discussion right now. They did the same thing in this series. They went into Cleveland in game 3. They win by 13. They don't let that get interesting. So now, let's say they lose one of those 2 games. They go down 2-1 in one of those 2 series. Can you imagine the talk around this team and the pressure building and what that would do to them? No, I love their answer in both cases. Yeah, it's unfortunate they lost at home to weak teams.
I think the Nuggets are really the only team that can beat Boston because they have 2 guys that can go get you buckets. If you look at Minnesota, are we really counting on Cat? Because we've been disappointed. Jalen, he's struggling. You know Jamal Murray, and you know Yoke gonna eat.
If Dallas were to get out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on, let's go. It's first take. Let's go.
But Luka.
But Luka, tell me.
So that means he's gonna have to play what? 6, 7 more games after these 3 games. Man, he might be on fumes, Monica. He might be out there with a cane or a walker at least. Because every time I see him, be like, oh, my back, I can't get up. Oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna finish this game.
I don't think I have them coming out of the West, but I think that's a more interesting.
It does. It is amazing because he looks like I used to look when I jump into scrimmages with my AAU guys. Go over, grab the heat packs. I mean, I've never seen a guy look so physically banged up from play to play. And it's because of this engagement with Lou Dort. Yeah. That's what it is. And even last night, there was a rebounding play late in the game. And they didn't even show the replay of it, but I caught it out of the corner of my eye where literally shot went up and Lou Dort is face guarding him on a block out. Luka wraps his arms around him, pulls him down on top of himself to the ground. Like, what are you doing? Exactly. You're going to end up hurting yourself. Just avoid that as much as you can. I know this is Lou Dort's game, but if they don't speed this up, Dallas is in trouble. I'm thinking Luka knows the same thing. You're going to see a different step out of him, I believe, in the beginning of Game 5 to let you know that where he's at, because that's what he did in the last round. And look, maybe he's just too beat up physically to get there. We're going to find out.
Well, maybe he doesn't have that 4th and 5th gear right now.
Maybe.
Because sometimes, if he's as beat up as we believe he is, and he already plays at a pace that is kind of slow somewhat, how did he get that gear back?
Well, with his passing, he's a tremendous passer. He should be sending them long NFL-style passes.
Yes.
Get the ball out of your hands.
Right.
No.
I don't think we've talked about Kyrie enough. We don't have timer here. I get it. But Kyrie didn't come up just now for like 5 straight minutes. Yeah. Well, Kyrie Irving, this is what you got him for. He's capable of it. Kyrie Irving can go off and be the best player on the court.
Yeah.
He might need that if Luka looks like this.
Before we go to break, we had this conversation yesterday, but I didn't get to ask you. Speaking of his running mate, we were talking about Kevin Durant. Do you think they blow up that big 3 in Phoenix?
What did I say when I get up this morning? You remember? I'm so damn tired of getting talking about
he went off.
How the league can't go on unless we find a landing spot for Kevin Durant where he can win a championship.
Perk said,
how easy can we make it for him? Like, that's what I feel like we're always talking about. Yeah. Make that situation work. You just got Budenholzer, a championship coach. Make that. Now, look, the front office has to add better pieces around those 3 guys. But why are we
They gave up the better pieces to get him.
We're constantly searching for the next landing spot.
Monica?
We'll get more into it later.